Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, we're going to go through the Forex market wrap. Very interesting week that we've had. Some wild swings in the market, some big bearish moves to the point of some stock markets falling the most they've ever fell. Well, especially for a very, very, very long time. So just going to take a look at the FTSE, for instance. The FTSE has dropped significantly this week, like major markets, but in particular, the FTSE 100 has fallen 20% this week. The S&P 500 has fallen. It has fallen 19.29% this week. These drops are huge, but we're coming into some key areas where we may see some short-term profit taking or some short-term bounces in these markets. But you know, the stock's really taking an absolute hammering, and in gold is falling in line with that. So I'm going to focus mainly on what's going on with gold and the stock markets. Reason being is because they're the biggest movers. We will take a look at the dollar index as well, because the dollar is gaining value quite considerably. That may mean the Fed may have to act again on potentially cutting rates. But you know, looking at gold, just going to examine what happened the last time gold really dropped and in these sorts of situations. So just going back to 2008, gold really did fall quite significantly at that moment in time, in line with the stock markets. So we just grab the compare tool and we just drop the S&P 500 on here. You'll see that in orange, and you can see here through 2008, as the market was declining, so did gold. When the stock market started to find a bit of a bottom, that's when gold rallied also. So you know, there's a couple of times in here where gold was starting to fall, and it kind of fell in line with the stock markets, and we might get a similar feel here with gold. I expect a little bit of downside out of the commodity. We are back testing at these previous structure highs though, so we have to respect trends still on the fact that the market has come down to here. So we may get a slight relief rally before any kind of further downside or anything like that plays out. Obviously, coronavirus is still having a major effect on the market globally, and just in global economics. We're seeing a lot of countries closing borders, Italy closing borders. We're seeing other countries as well follow suit. So you know, even the US this week turned around and closed and stopped people from Europe basically going to the US, apart from those in the UK and other places. But Europe is just kind of a no-go zone at the moment, which is causing this huge sell-off in the markets, which is something that, you know, as traders we can take advantage of. What's really interesting is the fact that stock markets have declined, but it doesn't mean that the safe havens have gained value. So we were looking for yen to really gain some value. However, that's just not been the case. The market has just continued to sell off the yen, which is quite surprising. You know, the Bank of Japan did want to intervene. We were at these lows through here, but the last time the Bank of Japan did intervene was around about here, around about this 100 level. So that's where I was expecting the market to head towards before bouncing. But you know, it seems to have bounced already, and the yen looks to be getting weaker in line with well, just with the sort of dollar gaining value. So we can see the dollar index didn't quite make it to our level of support where we were suggesting, you know, the market could bounce from. It's just really rallied to the upside, and I think we're going to continue to get these wild swings in the market over the next coming weeks. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the markets play out, but also we are going to advise just to use extreme caution in your own trading. You know, don't over leverage your positions. Make sure you're safe with any kind of position that you do take, and make sure that you have some you know, at least you're taking lower risk moves. But dollars rallying. We could expect that to continue into that 99.40 area. If it breaks out of there, then the next sort of area to be keeping our eyes on will probably be around about the 103s. If it can break and head towards there, then we're going to see some big upside in the US dollar. We expected strength in the dollar this year anyway, because through presidential cycles, the dollar typically does gain value quite significantly. So when we were watching this sell-off, we were looking for those key areas of support to come into play. So we were just shy of those lows, unfortunately, looking for that bounce, and the market has continued to the upside. So expecting dollar strength to continue. Let's see where this takes us next. But other markets as well being really affected. The Australian dollar continues to sell off. There was a large spike up this week, but if look at how the markets reacted. It came literally tested these swing lows here and then dropped to the downside. If we go to a daily time frame, you can see that we saw that reaction here, and the rest of the week we've just literally sold off. Again, everything on shutdown. Australian dollar is going to be really affected by the situation in China. I was expecting a potential short-term bounce, perhaps back into the highs for another move down. However, it's just continued lower, pushing again to the downside. So it's very, very interesting to see that form there. So keep your eyes on this. I'm expecting this to continue, really. Expecting the stock markets to continue to move lower until they find some kind of positive news. I mean, we can see that the market is slightly starting to rally there. But, at the end of the day, it's just still dropping to the downside. I don't really see much upside in the stock markets at the moment. So any significant rallies, you could be looking to just short sell the stock markets. So very, very interesting to watch. Like I said, stay safe. We're approaching some key levels, and we could see some short minor bounces from here. It'd be interesting to see how the VIX futures have set up this week with the commitment of trade reports. That'll be very, very interesting to watch. So thanks for watching this video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst at Blueberry Markets. Stay safe with your trading, and I'll speak to you next week.